Welcome back, Brett. It's Brett Berg from AGFA, the American Genre Film Archive, the greatest collection of genre films ever.
Thank you.
We are here to discuss Ms. 45 today and director Abel Ferrara. I understand you know something about him.
Oh, he's one of my absolute favorites. I say this with no hyperbole. I think he's one of cinema's greatest living filmmakers. I honestly think that in the 90s in particular, he had a run of 7 films which are all unique, strange, messed up, and like incredible in their own way. And it's rare that a director can make 2 movies in a row that are fantastic. And Abel Ferrara in the 90s pulled off King of New York, Bad Lieutenant, Dangerous Game, his Body Snatchers remake, which I actually think is as good as the Philip Kaufman one or the 50s one, The Funeral, and The Blackout. I think that's 7. And every single one of those is like, again, individual in their own way, super Godardian, and marrying genre film with like really crazy, unique Ferrara-esque elements. He started his career in the 70s in New York, as so many exploitation filmmakers did, and actually started in adult films. I don't know if I can say the title of the adult feature that he directed on this show, but he quickly segued into making like genre films with Driller Killer in the late 70s, and then Miss 45 came out in 1981. And these early films of Ferrara's are genre exercises where, much like Altman or something, he's kind of really not interested in the actual framework of the genre, and he is more interested in depicting the life of New York at a certain period of time. And with Miss 45, he lucked out in having his star be Zoe Lund, aka Zoe Tamerlis, who also co-wrote Bad Lieutenant with him a decade later. But Zoe is a haunting figure on film. She is one of the most devastating revenge film heroines, and she is mute in the film. She wasn't mute in real life, but she plays a mute more convincingly than any other mute character that I've seen in a movie, maybe. And she goes through a trial by fire and eventually decides to kill all men because they've done her wrong. Basically, that's the movie. But the movie's really an excuse to explore Zoe Lund's character's strange, freaky world of Manhattan.
Yeah, she's amazing in the film, and it's hard to imagine anybody else pulling that off. What was her background? How did he come upon her?
You know, I will actually look this up as we're talking. I'm not sure, but I can only imagine in late 70s New York, they were just like 2 people amongst the scene of art and music and degradation. I mean, that's kind of the brand of late 70s New York, is art, music, degradation, and occasionally film. Let's see here. Lund was born Zoe Tamerlis in 1962. To an American sculptor of Swedish descent, Barbara Leckberg. She dropped out of college, was an accomplished composer-musician, and was a pianist, but also made her debut in Miss 45 when she was only 17. So I guess that says a lot, that she was like a child prodigy of New York's art and music scene at the time. Wow. Ferrara, this is like one of his rare attempts at a straight up horror action film, and he would never quite get back to this like hardcore genre thing again, and that's what makes Miss 45 so special. It's like a Godardian take on Death Wish, featuring a badass 17-year-old who wants to kill all men. What's not to like about that?
So,
Paul, when was the first time you saw this movie?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I probably saw it at the St. Mark's Cinema in New York City. I'm guessing probably the first time I would have seen it. Long ago.
What year?
Yeah.
Give us a year. Come on.
It had to be way back.
Was it?
Around,
it wasn't. It was already in repertory at that time.
Yeah, it would have probably. What year did it come out?
81 is the IMDb year of the movie.
That's about the time I arrived in New York City, just a year or two before that.
So you might have been there,
yeah.
like when it came out, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking it was a midnight screening, so it was probably though late. But I noticed there was a big write-up in the paper about it, and I said, "Oh, I got to find out who this Abel Ferrara guy is."
Now, has she been in anything that did she go on to act in other films by other directors, or is she?
A few things. Perhaps the most notable from the '80s is that she's the star of one of Larry Cohen's '80s movies called Special Effects.
Oh boy.
It's her and Eric Bogosian actually, and she plays a wannabe starlet who's murdered by a film director. And then I think she plays two characters, because she's like the lookalike of the original character who's murdered. It's not the greatest film, but it's definitely an interesting chance to see her talk in a movie, because Miss 45 has her mute the whole time. And then she was in an episode of Miami Vice and a couple like European art house things, but she was never in as many things as she should have been. I suspect that probably her heroin habit and her independent attitude kept her from, like being a team player and working in movies where you have to show up on time and stuff.
Makes sense.
She strikes me as a real wild child who didn't have time for the kinds of things that mortals have time for.
Understandable. So.
I love the in the trailer. There's the scenes of her in the nun getup are very prominent in the trailer. That alone, I think, should bring a certain element in.
A certain element?
Do we have a nunsploitation following?
I think
here?
we should.
Yeah.
At this point, right? Well, we haven't really done any.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is the music, and the music is by a regular Abel Ferrara collaborator, Joe Delia. The finale of the film, which is in the trailer with her in the nun outfit, it's set to this really long 5-minute like saxophone funk number. So this like long sax funk jam closes out the movie. And it's one of the best pieces of music Joe Delia ever did, I think. And he went on to do the music for other films of his, like King of New York and stuff.
Is that the music that's also in the trailer? The
yes,
that comes in and out? Yeah, that's awesome.
It's kind of like a no wave New York funk track, and it's really appropriate for the movie, I think.
Is it the perfect summer movie? No.
Yeah, totally. Abel Ferrara said of Zoe Lund in a 2012 interview, "Zoe was a brilliant creative person before the drugs." So I can only imagine what her and many other like residents of that New York '80s scene, what they would have accomplished had it not been for intravenous drugs in particular. But yeah, Miss 45 is not only one of Ferrara's great genre efforts, but it's really a testament to Zoe's haunting legacy on film.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait for us to show it to people here. It's August 1st.
I will wait until August 1st to see it.
All right. See it with the crowd.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, Brett.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.